Hey you guys, it's Miss Jessica, and today we're going to go over our review for Aegean art. So just like last time, we're going to go over the who, what, where, when, why of all the different parts of Aegean art. Now for this one, I do again recommend you grab your book to write everything down, or make sure you watch this video over and over again to try to get all the information stuck in your head. All right, let's go ahead and begin a review. All right, so we're now going to begin with our lesson review for Aegean art. So we have a couple people to go over. There was quite a few. So we're going to start with who. Who are the people we need to remember? And there's different groups of people. The first one are the Cycladics. The Cycladics. The next one were the Minoans. The Minoans. And the last people were the Mycenaeans. The Mycenaeans. So I want you to try your best to remember, and remember for spelling on our final, our history bee, just try your best. So I would write those down. Now this is going to bring us into where. Where were the ancient Aegeans from? And you might remember from our class, but they were from Greece. Now more specifically, the island of Crete. So they were from Greece, but they all lived around the island of Crete. And so those are going to be two important things. I'll probably ask the question of, where are the Aegeans? And you would say Greece. And then I would ask you, but where were they from in Greece? And you would say the island of Crete. So those are two important ones to remember. All right, good job. So now that we've talked about what they created, let's talk about why they created it. Why did they create the art they made? There's two main reasons. The first one is they wanted athletic events to be known. So they wanted to show people that their civilization and they would create and do all these awesome athletic events. The second one is ocean motif. Now motif is just a super fancy word for a style. So think about all the art we just saw. A lot of it was from the ocean, and that was very influential to them because they lived next to the ocean. So I would ask, what kind of events were they trying to show? And you would say athletic events. Then I would ask you, what kind of art did they create pictures of? And you would say ocean motif. All right, now our last thing to talk about is how. How did they create these two athletic event and ocean motifs? And they did that in a very special way. They used a fresco painting style. So they were fresco painters. And what is a fresco? A fresco is when you paint on wet plaster. So fresco painting was the style, and a fresco is wet plaster. So that my question I would ask you is, what kind of paintings did they make? And you would say fresco paintings. Then I could ask someone, what is a fresco painting? And they would say a wet plaster painting. All right, let's get into the art. So what did they create? I'm gonna, definitely show you some pictures, but first we're just gonna talk about each one. Now, remember our friend Homer, he created a very famous book called the Odyssey and the Iliad. So actually the Iliad came first, and the Odyssey was his second book, and they were big influences on the art. They also created abstract statues. Now this is different than regular statues because these statues didn't look like real people. They had abstract features, which means not very real. So that's important to remember, abstract statues. So that question I would probably ask you, what did they create? And you would say abstract statues. And the last one are frescoes. Now these are Minoan frescoes because those are the people that were famous for creating them. But what I would definitely want you to remember is frescoes. So let's review this one. Homer, he created the Odyssey and the Iliad, abstract statues, and frescoes. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at some pictures of each one of these. Now the next thing we're going to take a look at are some of the Minoan frescoes that we talked about. And these Minoan frescoes they showed all of those athletic events. So this is a really famous one of a jumping bull. And you can tell that it's something athletic because this person is jumping over the bull. And then you have these two figures next to it that are kind of holding it in place. I also want to have you guys notice the look of these people. Yeah, you can tell they have arms and legs and faces, but notice their bodies don't look quite in the right proportion for a real human being. That's something that is more abstract, which means not real. Our last one to look at today is the abstract statues. Look, these are very abstract. These statues don't have any eyes and mouth. They only have a nose. They also have a very simple body with just, I can tell there's arms and legs, but you don't see any fingers or toes. And so that means, again, it doesn't look very real. It's a little more abstract, which means not real. Hey guys, so I hope you enjoyed our lesson about Aegean art. Make sure you guys study really hard as we're getting to the end of our first chapter, which is going to be our ancient art. It's a lot of information, so I just want you guys to try your best, and I'll see you guys for the actual art history beam. My name is Miss Jessica, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.